Hey, storytelling Ron. So I'm going to go to this video here. I want to thank Mr. Reagan for doing all the heavy lifting here in a great video. You guys should watch this. Biden admin aims to outlaw Christianity. I'm not going to play it. I'm just going to talk about it. But he's got a really good video talking about all this, and he's got some cuts here where they're coming after Christians. I mean, they're starting the clarion call, or it's not a clarion call for them. They're starting their mob. They're riling up the mob against Christians specifically. The conquistadors. They're saying that we are the problem, and they're using this. They're claiming we pushed our Christianity on all the indigenous cultures and stuff. Yes, we did. So we all need to be proud of that. That the Christians did this. That they had this sort of strength to do this, because Christianity is absolutely better than any of the things that they do. I'm going to get to the Bible stuff. So look, and they're just blah, blah, blah. Christianity, it's their fault. It's Christians. It's Christian nationalists. They're beating the war drum on their mobs. And he did a good thing here. This guy here talks about how the communist Marxists creating a degenerate, dumbing down the population so that they are susceptible to the Marxist ideology, where we're going to get the rich and we're going to use the government to do it, and government is their saviors. So this guy is talking about that, and it's really good on this video. This was done in the 80s. So definitely check out this video. Really good. Really, this guy's great. But what's interesting is that he says he doesn't go to church because he's here in LA too. Go to Grace Community Church to start, but boy, it would be great to have a smaller church here in Hollywood, in LA somewhere. I just don't. Yeah, there's a lot of churches here, but they all have pride flags on them. At least the three in the area that I live around all have pride flags on their church. So the church here has fallen, and we know this in the New Testament. We know in Revelations the church will fall, and in the book of Jude we know this, that they'll listen to wispy, seductive things that people will creep into the church with their niceties. So evil can be nice, evil can be good and nice and caring, just as much as a good person, but they can also be evil, right? They can turn that switch. We good can never be evil. We can never do that. I encourage this guy. He says, and I'm going to give one little harsh critique on Mr. Reagan here, but not that harsh. He says he's a Christian, but he doesn't go to church. That's the problem. It's not what evil does. That's the problem. It's what we Christians do. We're not going to church. We're not doing evangelism. We're not spreading the gospel. And Mr. Reagan has great videos, on conservatism. And this is him talking about Christianity and the problem with them. But and I think what he's doing is awesome. So don't sugar me there. But the one big problem he's having is that he's not being a Christian. If you're a Christian, you got to be a Christian. You got to take up the cross, whatever it is. For me, it's doing my silly role-playing games, but it's what I know. It's what I've been attuned to my whole life. And so that's where I'm pushing the faith now. And obviously I've only done it recently, so I've only realized we have to take up our cross, and I only understood it recently as well. So for him, hopefully he will work on that, and hopefully he'll do some of these videos and do more Christian Christian faith stuff, and that'd be great, because he's got a good platform. He makes good videos. He very his videos are 40 minutes, but you can listen to him as opposed to me babbling and stuff. He's very concise in what he says, and I love Mr. Reagan. Just a real quick, of course, now go on a side note here. I went to the Reagan Museum twice now, and it's just such a kind of a really neat experience to see his story and history and see all the stuff up as you follow through his life story, and really nostalgia, and nostalgia of the 80s and stuff. So it's kind of neat. Even though I kind of don't like that kind of stuff, but it is kind of neat. Okay. So I'm going to do one last thing here. I got to switch to the Bible. Okay. So I want to explain, what we're up against. And in the video, the guy that was a communist, who's telling how the communists take over the world, the Marxists, how they dumb down the population, and for us, it's going to take we have to take 20 years for us to re-educate a new population to then counter that, because right now in America, The population is so Marxist. The kids, the youth. But he says that it's going to take 20 years to redo it. And I disagree with that. I think that it takes just Christians to wake up and do our thing, and we're not doing our thing. That's the problem. We're not evangelizing. We're not spreading the gospel. We're not rebuking them with Jesus Christ, the words of Christ and the words of the Bible and the words of God. We're going along to get along. That's the problem. And we're not going to church. And you got to go to church because we have to, arm up. And I don't mean by weapons. I mean as a groups, as fellowship, as encouragement. That's what we need. And iron sharpens iron. Because when you're alone as a Christian, you can go off on weird beliefs that you need to be shepherded in. I need to be shepherded in. We all need to be continually, kept from going astray in our beliefs. Because you and I can get very imaginative on our Christianity or on our beliefs, right? Okay, so here's something about the God, and here's something about our belief, okay, as Christians. This is something that's hardcore for us, hard-coded into our psyche as Christians that pagans do not have. And this is something you got to get across to them too. If they if they don't believe in God, then they believe in lies and deception, and they're, and you're going to have a hard time for sure. You and I both are going to have a hard time getting people away from evil, because evil can pretend to be good. Evil can be good. Evil can be good 99% of the time, right? It's just that 1% they can freely choose to lie, deceive, sexually exploit, pervert, whatever. That's the thing. But we Christians, we can't do that. Now, if we do that 1%, we have to be corrected. We have to be, ask for forgiveness. We have to change our ways. But evil doesn't have to do that. They can just get away with it. Now, if they don't get away with it, they can pretend. But if they can get away with it, great. We Christians cannot get away with it, right? Our conscience is telling us we can't. There are 6 things that the Lord hates, 7 that are detestable to him. So we have things that we know in our heart are absolute. We believe in heaven. We believe in judgment from God. We believe that when no one else is looking, someone's still looking. God is. Pagans don't believe in that. So if no one is looking, they can get away with it. And that builds up in them. And the more they get away with something, the more they will do it. It's an addiction. Trust me, I've been there. Haughty eye. God hates haughty eyes and a lying tongue. So when I showed you that video of the MSNBC people, white supremacists, white devils, blaming Christian nationalists and all that, they are fine with that. They're fine with lying. We Christians cannot lie. So we cannot lie about, do we want to control people's minds? Do we want to imprison people? We can't lie and say, oh, we're really good, but we're not going to tell you that part. No, we have to tell you exactly. We have to become an open book, which, hey, guess what? We have a book that tells you exactly how we should be. Now, if we as a Christian are imprisoning and enslaving and sexually abusing people, we're not Christian, right? That's not Christianity. You cannot blame the evildoers for Christianity. You have to go to the book, because the book is the book of instructions. Someone not following those instructions is not being a Christian. However, for Marxists, I don't know if they have a book. I don't know if they're following the Marxist book, or they make up new stuff. I think they can just make up new stuff all the time, just like pagans do. And they don't even call themselves Marxists, really, right? They're social justice warriors. They're this and that. And they're Democrats. They're liberals. They're I don't know what the heck they call themselves. Whatever. But they can have haughty eyes, which obviously the woke culture has haughty eyes. They have a lying tongue. The trans movement has a lying tongue. They're lying about themselves, and then they're lying about us. And then they're going to force us to lie along with them, right? Hands that shed innocent blood. So they can do that. And in the Bible, what's funny is, not funny, but Jesus says, no one is innocent when, you're born with sin. Well, so the innocent blood is those that are unborn. But also it's those who they kill, blaming them for something that they didn't do. That's innocent blood. When you blame them for something they didn't do, and that's bearing false witness. And Marxists and pagans and Democrats and the godless can blame anyone using false witness. They can go after Trump. They can go after you and me. They can go after Christians with their MSNBC. That's okay by them. That to them is their truth, their truthiness, their feelings. They can come after us. And the problem, what they do is not the problem. What they're doing, what evil does, is not the problem. God will take care of them. God is vengeance. See, so thank God is vengeance, and I am not vengeance, and you are not vengeance. So what they're doing, you need to be at peace with, because what they're doing is exactly what God made them to do. Okay? That's not the problem. The problem is you and me. What are we doing? What are we doing to rebuke them? Out loud. Not, oh, I'm going to go along to get along, and we're going to have a good time, role-playing games with pagans and stuff in our LGBTQ friendly games. No, that's not how we should be doing. We should be using our faith, period, in the game too. Okay, a heart that devises wicked schemes. God hates these things. Wicked schemes he hates. So we cannot, as Christians, devise wicked schemes, because then God would hate us. So I cannot devise a wicked scheme against you or against a trans or a gay person. I cannot do that. I cannot devise a wicked scheme against the Democrats. I have to be an open book and tell the truth. As a Christian, my opinion is from a Christian standpoint. A heart that devises wicked schemes. Feet that run swiftly to evil. See, now these feet can be happy, joyful, but as soon as you don't go along with their lie, they can run swiftly to evil, to divide, have haughty eyes, lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood. A false witness who gives false testimony. God hates that more than anything. Wow. All these things here. They're all about deception. God is of truth, and this is the most powerful tool of evil is bearing false witness, devising wicked schemes, lying tongue, haughty eyes. That's what these, to me, the MSNBC people, the CNN people, constantly rolling out these wicked schemes, bearing false witness, giving false witness testimony, and saying they can lie all the time. I have, not to bring it home too closely, but we all have family members and stuff that are part of the Democrat Party, part of the liars. You have to make a stand. Be at peace, be peaceful, be nice, but don't let them take over the dinner table. If it comes down to it, don't. I don't see some of my family members because of this. One who stirs up discord among brothers. So they're gonna stir up discord. They're gonna come into everything, public schools, halls of governance, churches. They're going to stir up discord, right? I'm a woman. They're going to come up and attack you at your just working at the register. They're going to force you to lie about who they are. Yes, sir. Now I'm a woman. They're going to stir up discord. They're going to try to rile up anyone around them as a mob and go after you. God hates 6 things, 7 are detestable to him. So he hates these, right? The Lord hates these things. And he's telling us, so we as Christians cannot be this, but the MSNBC people can be this. So just philosophically, logically, you got to say to your non-believing people, well, you can lie. What absolute rule do you have that you can't lie? And then I'm gonna say, well, we have rules that we can't lie. They have the 10 Commandments. We have you cannot bear false witness, and we have this. God says he hates this. So I, following a Christian, have a rule, and if I break this rule, I'm not a Christian. I'm not a very good Christian, that's for sure. But I absolutely have a rule where I do not lie, I do not deceive, I do not rile up, I do not have wicked schemes. But you don't have that rule, so you can lie. You can have wicked schemes. And may God forgive you for that. You need Jesus. You don't need to spend your time, waste your time with unbelievers in their wicked schemes and lies and trying to reel them out of it using reason and logic and debate. You can't do it, right? If they can do detestable, wicked schemes, if that's in their heart, you can't do much about that. The only thing you can do is tell them about Jesus Christ. Tell them that they're sinners. They have this ultimate no rule, and they can devise wicked schemes. They can be good 99% of the time, but you can be evil too. You got to kind of get a little medieval in that sense. I'm not talking about violence or brutal. That's God's realm. I'm talking about just men with a spine who rebuke. You got to start rebuking. You and I have to. No, we got to figure it out in fellowship. That's why you join a church. You start talking about it with them. You start learning about them. And I would suggest role-playing game because you need to practice. I don't want you to go out. I'm saying don't go out and just do it. Start practicing first. How do you practice? I don't know. You can figure that out with your Bible study, your fellowship, if you don't do role-playing games. But I have a suggestion. Get these role-playing games. Start getting groups together. Start strengthening up this fellowship. Take it to your church. Start using it there. If you're a role-playing game person, I'm like, we all have different ways of doing it. But all of us need to start evangelizing and learning how to rebuke and learning how to talk in the gospel way, in the mind of a gospel person. We cannot. My whole creation stuff, where I'm teaching kids about creation and doing creation tours and all that, that's not for them to go out and start using that against evolutionists or Democrats or unbelievers. That's not what that's for. That's just for them to give them strength in their belief and their faith, so that they're not confused and thrown off by evil. But it is not, creation science is not, for me, a way to argue or debate atheists or evolutionists. It's not worth it. I've done it, and it's a waste of time. They live in a foolish world with futile myth upon myth, constant swirl of what about this? What about this? I just explained away 7 of your things. Now you're going to an 8th. They will not stop, because it's this detestableness, it's this wicked schemes, this devising false testimony, coming up with futile things, professing to be wise. They're fools. You can't debate that. So again, the only solution is strengthen your soul by going to church and fellowshipping with other Christian men and women, same thing, and then start getting a gospel mind, a gospel evangelist mind. Start working on that. However you want to do it. For me, I'm doing it through, having fun playing a role-playing game, but that's what I know. That's what I grew up, 45 years I've been doing that, and it's what I've been drawn to. So I'm doing that, and then putting these videos out, and, so you figure out what your joyful way of doing the gospel is and rebuking sin. These people are not going to listen to your logic. You have to bring them to Jesus Christ. Now, they'll reject it. Move on, to do other things. And we need to bring Christian men into the politics, into the halls of governance. So thusly strengthen the church so that they can teach the next generation to go out and do this. Okay, that's my solution. It's the church. It's the church of Jesus Christ, the bride of Jesus Christ. The real solution is for him to come. And vote. I'm going to vote Trump and Republicans. I'm voting red because it's not that red is absolutely the truth or anything, Republicans, but it's we have a chance at a Christian, in there, versus Democrats are just pure evil. I mean, woo. Anyone that says they're Christian and Democrat, I'm just like, nope, not going there. Okay, that's my harsh, mean video. Be at peace. Go to church, fellowship, work on evangelism, however you want to do it. I have a suggestion. Games here. Anyway, all right, Game of Life. Have a good weekend. Game of Life. Roll holy dice.